Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube channel, and we are going to bring you another bout in our heavyweight tournament using Title Bout Championship Boxing. And tonight's matchup, a very good one. It will pit Vladimir Klitschko versus Jack Johnson. Just a tremendous matchup here, folks, and it should be a doozy. And let's go to the bout here. And let's give you a little background on Wladimir Klitschko. Klitschko has just retired. His last fight he lost to Anthony Joshua in quite an entertaining fight. Klitschko's big wins came over Chris Bird twice, Ray Mercer, Samuel Peter twice, Lamont Brewster, where they won back and forth. He also lost Lamont Brewster, Sultan Ibrahimovic, Hasim Rotman, David Hay, Jean-Marc McCormick, and Alexander Povetkin. Losses: Corey Sanders, Lamont Brewster, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua. Klitschko will come in weighing 245 pounds. A very big man, a very muscular man. 6'6.5" with an 81-inch reach advantage. 81-inch in reach. He'll have the reach advantage and height advantage. He likes to fight on the outside. Let's quickly go to his ratings card. As you can see, he's a boxer. He seldom fouls. He does not like to fight on the inside at all. He has a 0 out of 4 rating. 4 out of 4 from the outside. He covers up 2 out of 4 and goes for a knockout 3 out of 4. He's an octopus when you get it on the inside. All arms. He does not want to fight on the inside. Control factor versus a boxer, 12 out of 15. And Jack Johnson is a boxer. His chin, he is susceptible to knockdowns, as we've seen in his bouts. His chin's a 3. But he usually does get up. Recovery is a 2. Absorbs punishment at a level of a 3. Killer instinct, 6. Aggressiveness, 6. Defense, -3. That's going to come in very big here, as Johnson is an excellent defensive fighter of a -6. Where he'll have an advantage, not only in the height and reach, is the hitting power. He is 12 out of 13 for hitting power. He works everything off his jab, and then his power punch is the right cross. Will throw an uppercut on the inside on occasions. And he is a rank in Title Bout Boxing 11 out of 15. Let's go to Jack Johnson now. Johnson stands at 6'1.5" with a reach 74 inches. He'll weigh in at 210 pounds. Johnson's big wins: when he won the heavyweight title against Tommy Burns, he would beat James J. Jeffies, and the epic loss to Jess Willard in Havana, Cuba. Let's go to his rating card. He is a boxer, but he fouls often. And he's a jabberjaw. He likes to talk in the ring. Fights inside at a 2 out of 4, so he's average on the inside, which is 100 times better than Klitschko. He also likes to fight on the outside, 4 out of 4. And he goes for a knockout 3 out of 4, covering up 2 out of 4. A lot of similarities here. And on the inside, Johnson will maul and brawl with you. He'll try to use his strength. Johnson, a tremendously strong fighter, though he's giving away a lot of weight. A very intelligent fighter. 10 out of 10. Control versus a boxer, which Klitschko is, 13 out of 15. So he'll have a slight advantage when it comes to ring generalship and controlling the action. Chin versus a knockdown is a 2. Same with chin versus a knockout. Also a 2. There's his defense. -6, the best you can be in this game. Endurance is 10 out of 10. Aggressiveness, 6 out of 10. But here's, again, the big factor. His hitting power is only 5 out of 15. He works everything off his jab. Hooks, crosses, combinations. He will throw punches, folks. And his title bout championship boxing rating is a 13 out of 15. Let's get ready for the bout here. Let's select our fighters. Hope all is well on this Tuesday evening. Had a little difficulty getting the stream started. Hopefully we're still up and running. My second screen is down. I cannot see the chat yet. So we will select our first fighter, and that will be Wladimir Klitschko. And now we'll select Jack Johnson. So Wladimir Klitschko has a record of 64 wins, 5 losses, no draws, 53 by knockout. Jack Johnson, 56, 11, and 8 draws with 35 knockouts. Both fighters will be in their primes of their career. That's how we play and simulate these bouts. Both fighters in their primes. Conditioning, tip-top shape. Top condition for both fighters, as with all other bouts in the tournament. In the corner for Wladimir Klitschko is Emmanuel Stewart, his trainer, cutman Ace Murata. For Jack Johnson, Ray Arcel is his trainer, and Percy Richardson is his cutman. I assigned Ray Arcel and Percy Richardson to Jack Johnson. Let's go to the fight options. 15 rounds. Strategy will be determined by title bout championship boxing. I will have nothing to do with the strategies. I will only call the bout. And we got the second screen back up. Hallelujah. The bout will take place, and it's going to be in Germany. And the quickest way to do this is to set this up by... The bout will be in Germany, and it's going to be... Where is that big stadium? It will be 45,000 seat Waldstein Stadium in Germany. Michael Buffer will be the announcer, and the referee will be... Who do we want the referee to be? Stanley Christodoulou. That's who we're going to have the referee. From South Africa. That should be an interesting choice. Actually, you know what? It's going to be Terry O'Connor from England instead. Terry O'Connor will be the referee. The 3 judges, as always, Mickey Van from England, Larry Hazard from the USA, and Dong-Eung Park of South Korea. Again, it's scheduled 15 rounds. The 3 judges will score the bout on the 10-point must system. If there is a rare incident stoppage, it will be a draw until 50% of the fight is complete. Before that, it is a draw and they'll fight over. After 50% of the fight, we'll go to the scorecards. There is a mandatory 8 count. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. It is a 10-point must system, as I stated. You can never be saved by the bell in any round, and the referee or doctor can stop the fight. Let's move on to the analysis. ID Gestures joined us in the chat. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. He's covering it for the Florida Times. Klitschko, a boxer, has a control factor of a 12 versus a boxer. Johnson's also a boxer, though he fouls more proficiently than Klitschko. He has been termed a dirty fighter at times, and his control factor versus a boxer is a 13, so he will have a slight edge, again dictating the pace. Let's go to the training here. The power factor definitely in favor of Vitali Klitschko. Wladimir Klitschko, Vitali's his brother. Tremendous, 92% punching power compared to Johnson's 38. Endurance will go to Johnson. And the Klitschko brothers did have a habit of tiring late in fights, even though you see that 90 endurance. They're big, bulky, and muscular. They do tire. And late in fights. Defense goes to Johnson, though Klitschko's no slouch. And hand speed goes to Johnson. Klitschko with good hand speed, Johnson with excellent hand speed. Ring tactical skills, again, Klitschko a pretty good ring tactician, 64%, but Johnson's an 85%. I believe Johnson will be a slight favorite. Klitschko will have to hurt Johnson with one of his right crosses. And let's move on to the fight here in Germany. Packed capacity here in the German stadium. Is a V, so that'd be Waldstadion, Germany. The referee from England, Terry O'Connor. Judge from England, Mickey Van. Larry Hazard, the judge from the U.S. And Dong-Un Park from South Korea. The ringside expert for Title Bout Championship Boxing, Tom Trunzo. As ID Gesture says, he's feeling better, still on meds, but slightly better. That's good. Take care of yourself, my friend. All right, both fighters are in the ring. Again, Klitschko, 245, against 210 of Jack Johnson. Klitschko has the height and reach advantage and the advantage in power. Johnson, speed and defense. They go to the center of the ring. Referee O'Connor asks any questions from either corner. Emmanuel Stewart says no. Ray Arcel in the Johnson corner says no. They go back to their respective corners and they wait the bell. And here's the bell for round number 1 from Germany. Bout number 15 in our heavyweight tournament, round 1. And there's the bell. Klitschko comes out, and Klitschko lands a 1-2. Johnson leaps in. Big right hand missed by Klitschko right away. Both fighters throwing. Klitschko trying to work behind the jab and keep distance. And again, he starts nailing Johnson with the jab. Johnson has to try to get in. Oh, a 1-2-3 by Klitschko. That rattled Johnson. He seems hurt by that. He backs up a bit, smiles to Klitschko and the crowd. Johnson with a counter 1-2. And Klitschko backs up. Johnson ties up, roughing up Klitschko on the inside, but Klitschko is a big man. Under a minute to go. Action-packed round here in Germany. They're working on the inside, and Johnson lets his hands go, landing good, solid shots to the head and body. They clinch. Klitschko pushes him away. 15 seconds to go in round 1. Again, Johnson works on the inside, and there's the bell. And I give that round to Jack Johnson. He was rattled early, but he came back, rattling Klitschko, and then took the initiative on the inside. Klitschko does not like to fight on the inside. Neither Klitschko brother would like to fight. They're all octopus arms on the inside, but Johnson was able to work himself free, never letting Klitschko tie him up, and he let his hands go. That was a close round, but I give it to Jack Johnson. And Tom Trunzo also gives it to Jack Johnson, 10-9. Let's go to the Klitschko corner and Emmanuel Stewart, the trainer of Wladimir Klitschko. And he wants Klitschko to work everything off the jab, as we suspected. Klitschko, a tall man, long jab, and that good straight right hand. And Johnson got evidence of that good straight right hand when he got rattled. And Klitschko hit him upside his head. Murata, the cut man, in hit Klitschko's corner. A little grease work around Klitschko's eyes. Emanuel Stewart gives Klitschko some water. Last minute instructions. Work behind the jab. Stay on the outside. We move to the Jack Johnson corner with Ray Arcel, the trainer, and cut man Percy Richardson. Ray Arcel very happy. He says, you took the kid's big blow. He hit you with the big right hand. You're still standing there. He doesn't want to fight on the inside, Jack. Wants nothing to do on that inside. Arcel's telling him, when you can get in there, work hard. So Johnson looks like he's going to be an aggressive counter-puncher. And when he gets the opportunity, he's going to get on the inside and work hard. And Ray Arcel's final words as Johnson getting off the stool says, don't let him tie you up. You got to work on the inside. We prepare for round number 2. As ID Gesture gives round 1 to Klitschko. And let's look at the punch stat numbers for round number 1. Klitschko landed 20 punches. And Jack Johnson 25, as again, last minute of round 1, he worked hard and on the inside, letting his hands go. But it was a very close round. Klitschko was able to land 8 thudding crosses. The punch of choice for Jack Johnson. He worked a lot off the jab until he got on the inside, and he threw a lot of short combinations. As we prepare for round number 2 here in Germany. There's the bell. Both fighters off their stool. Klitschko trying to keep distance with that jab. Johnson trying to work his way on the inside. A 1-2 by Klitschko. Now stepping away. A 1-2-3 by Klitschko. Johnson felt that right cross again. Klitschko ties up as Johnson comes on the inside. O'Connor breaks him 2 minutes ago. Klitschko again works behind the jab with a solid 1-2. And Johnson backs up. And Klitschko comes forward, lands a big left hook to the head, digs to the body. Now an uppercut. Johnson is in Queer Street. His legs are really round. A big left hook missed by Klitschko. He could be taking out Johnson here. He's opening up, hitting Johnson with everything. Down goes Jack Johnson from a huge right cross. As Klitschko got him right on the outside. Johnson's up at the count of 3. He'll take the mandatory 8. It's been all Klitschko here. The fans in Germany are going nuts. Can Klitschko finish him off? Under 30 seconds, Klitschko throwing. Johnson parrying the blows away. Under 10 seconds, Johnson continues to move away. Klitschko pursues, lands a 1-2, and there's the bell. A huge round for Wladimir Klitschko. He dropped Jack Johnson with the right hand. Johnson never got on track. Klitschko was in that beautiful rhythm, doing that violent dance behind the jab, side to side. Remember, Klitschko won a gold medal in the Olympics. Excellent boxing skill, at times mechanical, and never wants to fight on the inside, but he didn't have to. He kept Johnson at arm's length and beat Johnson, as I say, like a piñata. And let's quickly go to the Jack Johnson corner, where Ray Arcel is trying to, and Percy Richardson trying to feverishly revive their fighter. He still looks a little lost on his stool as he staggered back to his corner. And Arcel is telling him, you got to stay away from those punches, but that's pretty obvious. As Percy Richardson drops some ice down his trunks to try to wake him up. Arcel says, you got to let your hands go. Now whispers something into Johnson's ear. Let's go over to Klitschko corner. Emanuel Stewart is ecstatic. That was one of the best rounds of boxing that Wladimir Klitschko has ever fought in his life. Everything worked off the jab. Perfect distance. Kept Johnson totally off balance. It was a thing of beauty. The fans here in Germany, Klitschko's adopted country, are absolutely enjoying this. Johnson, no stranger to traveling to foreign lands to fight. He won the title in Australia when he beat the Canadian Tommy Burns. And Emmanuel Stewart says, keep it up, we'll have a short night. It's a little more confidence than I think, but if Klitschko can keep him at the end of that jab, it will be maybe not a short night, but it's going to be a painful night for Jack Johnson. And now let's go to the scorecard. I give that 10-8 to Wladimir Klitschko, as ID Gesture reporting for the Florida Times here in Germany says, good round for Klitschko. Again, I give it a 10-8 round for Klitschko, and so does Tom Trunzo, the unofficial scorer for Title Bout Championship Boxing. He now has Klitschko ahead after 2, 19-18. And let's see if Jack Johnson can rebound here in round 3. And let's just quickly look at the punch stat numbers. Klitschko landed just under 50 punches. He landed 47. Johnson never landed a scoring blow. That's how dominant Wladimir Klitschko was. And the right crosses, the cross that dropped Johnson, he landed that 17 times. He worked off his jab beautifully, keeping Johnson at bay, at distance, in his punching range, but not in Jack Johnson's punching range. Both fighters off their stool. Klitschko quickly off his stool. O'Connor says, back up, big man. And here's the bell. Klitschko wants to get at Johnson. And now he parries Johnson's punches away and again works up the jab. And just as I say that, Johnson loops in with a combination, staggering Klitschko. Klitschko backs to the ropes. Johnson starting to pour it on. As he gets on the inside, digs to the head and body. Klitschko trying to octopus arm him. Johnson pushes him away. And again, Johnson lets his hands go on the inside. They tie up. Klitschko pushes him away. It's been all Jack Johnson, as Johnson bouncing in and out now. Unbelievable how he has got back. Big right hand, left hook, misses by Klitschko. Johnson counters with a 1-2. It's been all Jack Johnson. Klitschko's the one who can't get in punching range. They both throw, they both land, but the harder punches were Jack Johnson. Under 5 seconds, they tie up, and there's the bell. A huge comeback round for Jack Johnson. That is unbelievable. The intestinal fortitude that Jack Johnson, a.k.a. Little Arthur, they like to call him, totally unexpected. Wow! I mean, Jack Johnson looked like he wanted to bait Klitschko in. He was fighting from the outside. He baited him in, and as soon as he tagged him, he went right at him to change the tide of battle here after Klitschko dropped Jack in round 2. And let's go to the Klitschko corner, as he was rattled, and there's some swelling on that right eye that Ace Murata's working on now. It's 25% swelling, so Johnson heaved a ton of damage on him, swelling up that right eye, and that definitely could be a hindrance. But they have one of the best cut men in the business, Ace Murata, in the corner. Emmanuel Stewart's telling him, you got to let that jab go. As he got tagged early, as Jack Johnson beautifully baited him in to the trap. As Johnson said, come here, the spider said to the fly. Let's move to the Jack Johnson corner. And Ray Arcel is very happy with his fighter. As he says, that's what I'm talking about, Jack. That's what I'm talking about. Let's take this kid in the deep water and drown him. Johnson smiles. Percy Richardson gives Johnson a swig of water, spits it out. Let's quickly go to the scorecards before round number 4. What a turn of events there in round 3. Again, Klitschko dropped Jack Johnson in round 2. So I give that 10-9 Jack Johnson, and so does Tom Trunzo, the unofficial scorer for Title Bout Championship Boxing. He has it 28 even, as do I. Quickly go to the punch stat numbers for round number 3. A very exciting fight so far. Klitschko was able to land 5 punches, but nothing really on them. As he was just trying to fend Jack Johnson off, Johnson landed 37 punches, working beautifully off the jab, and on the inside he threw hooks to the head and body. And when he was bouncing in and out, he landed his crosses 5 times. He staggered the big man Klitschko. Again, Klitschko 6'6.5", 245 pounds of muscle and boxing intellect. As ID gesture at ringside here in Germany. As I look over to ID, he says, good comeback round for Johnson. Again, ID gesture reporting for the Florida Times. As we prepare for round number 4, can Klitschko turn the tide of battle? Round 4, Klitschko on the outside trying to stay behind his jab and keep Johnson out of punching range. Johnson on the outside trying to work his way in. They tie up, they push away. Again, Klitschko just pawing that jab out there. He's got that right hand cocked. Johnson leaps in with a 1-2 and slides away. He didn't want to get in as Klitschko tried to tie him up. And Klitschko digs to the head and body. The last shot was a hook to the head. Johnson felt it. Now Klitschko pulls Johnson's head down. Referee warns him. Slower paced round here in round 4. They tie up again. Klitschko does not want to fight on the inside. Johnson tries to force him back to the ropes. They tie up and push away again. A 1-2 by Johnson. He's bouncing on his feet. Now he pecks away with the jab twice as he hits that swelling eye. Huge right hand counter by Klitschko at the bell buckle. Jack Johnson, as he staggers back towards his corner, Ray Arcel quickly comes out to grab him and steadies him on the stool. As Percy Richardson tries to revive him, as they throw water on his face. Wow, a big right hand, that cross, that educated cross from Wladimir Klitschko, and that probably stole the round. It was a slow-paced round going Jack Johnson's way, but that last combination, in my opinion, gives the round to Klitschko. Quickly go to the scorecards before we go to the Johnson corner. And Tom Trunzo agrees, 10-9 Klitschko. After 4, he has Klitschko up 38-37, as do I. Johnson, the slight favorite here by the writers at ringside, though the fans definitely favoring Wladimir Klitschko here in Germany. The bookies saw a lot of money on Klitschko. Late money did come in on Johnson, though. Let's go to the Jack Johnson corner and a concerned Ray Arcel, as he must be thinking, how long can he stand up to those sledgehammer right hands by Vitali Klitschko? Wladimir Klitschko. Vitali's his brother. I apologize. No nicks, cuts, or abrasions out of the ordinary for Jack Johnson. Just the normal wear and tear of a pugilistic contest. Arcel says you're boxing beautifully, bouncing in and out, landing his punches, but at the end he got tagged, and they're concerned about that. Let's go to the Klitschko corner before we move on to round number 5. Emmanuel Stewart. He's happy with that last little combination. Klitschko really was trying to protect that eye, which was swelling up. And it's down slightly from 25% to 24%. Murata continues to work on that swelling around that right eye. And that's definitely going to be a hindrance for Vitali Klitschko. You can see when Johnson tries to get in close, Klitschko brings his arms out if he's not going to hit him and tries to parry and push Johnson away. If he gets on the inside, Klitschko just tries to grab and tie him up. Johnson has had success not being tied up and letting his hands go. And if Klitschko doesn't tie up quick enough, he is a punching bag on the inside. Quickly, the punch stat numbers as both fighters begin to get up off their stool. Johnson very slowly. No smile on Jack Johnson's face right now. And Klitschko landed 14 punches, most of them coming at the end of the round. And even though Johnson outlanded him, Klitschko landed that hellacious combination at the end that really rocked Jack, and I believe I gave him the round, and so did Trunzo. He stole the round right at the end, and Johnson was actually doing quite well. We move on to round 5 here. Very close fight. And here's the bell for round 5. Again, Klitschko on the outside working the jab. Johnson tries to leap in. Klitschko ducks away from that punch. Johnson, the offensive fighter on the outside, but he eats 3 consecutive jabs. A right cross just missed as the jabs actually knocked Johnson's head out of the way. A 1-2 miss by Klitschko. Johnson ducking under, tries to get in, but octopus arm grabs him. O'Connor makes them break. 1:30 left in the round, and Klitschko just, in his usual boring style now, just using the jab and tying up. And there's a 1-2-3 again. The right hand rattles Johnson. A vacant look comes into his eye. Klitschko not really opening up, and now he does with 30 seconds. Right hand after right hand, but they're missing. And but the left hook nails Johnson. He wasn't expecting that. Now a 1-2 by Klitschko. And there's the bell after another big left hook misses. A huge round for Wladimir Klitschko. Johnson was badly hurt and covering up at the end. Wow. This would be very impressive if Wladimir Klitschko could stop Jack Johnson. That could have been a 10-8 round. As Johnson was badly hurt and again is not on steady legs as he goes back to his corner. Quickly go to the scorecards. 10-9. Tom Trunzo scores it. I'm going to give it 10-9 also. Was very close to a 10-8. Again, a dominant Klitschko round. So after 5, myself and Tom Trunzo have Klitschko up 48-46. The one knockdown was scored by Klitschko as he dropped Johnson with a beautiful counter right cross off the combination in round 2. We go to the Wladimir Klitschko corner. And Ace Murata has really brought that swelling down tremendously. It's down to 17%. But again, Johnson didn't hit Klitschko with anything of any scoring value. Emmanuel Stewart very happy. Klitschko was pretty much using his boring tactics, as I used to call him. He's just going to work behind the jab. He's such a big fighter. Very talented. Keep you on the outside. And if he hurts you, then he'll open up at his proper punching distance, though. And he did just that against Jack Johnson. We move to the Jack Johnson corner. And Ray Arcel, he wants Johnson to go on the inside and work. As Johnson will be safer, much safer on the inside. As Klitschko's punches are long, and he wants to hit him at the end of his punches. Quickly go to the punch stat numbers before round 6. Klitschko landed 26 punches, and Johnson did not land an official scoring blow. That is the second time in this fight it has happened. So the defensive wonder, the size is just a tremendous advantage for Wladimir Klitschko, as it would be in his career and against any fighters in history. The size of the Klitschko brothers would be their tremendous advantage. Not that they couldn't lose, they lost to other fighters, but the size advantage is just tremendous here. Klitschko landed 26 total blows, again working beautifully off the jab, landed 10 jabs and 7 thudding crosses, including 5 combinations. We prepare for round number 6. Klitschko feeling pretty good about himself. Both fighters off the stool. Here's the bell, round number 6. And again, Klitschko wants to stay on the outside, work behind the jab. The jab right hand missed for Klitschko. Parried away by Jack Johnson. And Jack Johnson stops. And Johnson leaps in on the inside and just lets his hands go, digging hard to the body. Arcells wants him to dig hard to the body. Klitschko ties him up, and they break. Again, Johnson trying to get in on the inside. Trying to work behind the jab. Klitschko just continues to pile the 1-2. And there's a tremendous 1-2-3 combination. Johnson staggered again. He's covering up. Klitschko trying to get through that Jack Johnson defense. Big right hand misses. Johnson badly hurt. Another big right hand misses. Johnson's on clear street. He blocks the big left hook. Klitschko opening up. Digs to the body. The uppercut gets through. Another round just on pure power by Wladimir Klitschko. Johnson had that one moment when he got in on the inside and he just ripped his hands to the body, and those were good body shots. Wladimir felt them, but he was able to tie up, get his breather, and once they broke out of that, he worked behind the jab, and again, that educated right cross landing what seems at will when he wants to really throw it hard, and he hurt Johnson. Once again, didn't drop him, but Johnson was in cover-up mode. As Klitschko is able to pace the fight the way he wants it. Quickly go to the scorecards. I give it a 10-9 round for Klitschko. And Tom Trunzo gives it even. I disagree with Trunzo. He now has it 58-56 for Klitschko. I have Klitschko up by 3, 58-55. I think the power that Klitschko showed, again, hurting Johnson very bad as he was covering up at the end of the round. And Klitschko opened up, really threw a lot of punches, and that could take something out of Wladimir. Johnson did a beautiful job defensively, not really letting up any follow-up blows get through. Let's go to the Klitschko corner, and Emmanuel Stewart, he is very happy. Swelling still at 17%, though. But they have to be concerned. Klitschko has had problems with his stamina throughout his career. And he missed a lot of punches at the end of that round. Jack Johnson's defense was absolutely, even hurt, he was able to block a ton of punches and slide away and duck under others. Let's go to the Jack Johnson corner. And Ray Arcells is sensing that this fight is slipping away from Little Arthur. And he just wants Johnson to be busy. In and out, in and out. Bait him in. But it's so hard for Jack Johnson. Klitschko with those long arms. Johnson has to time it perfect. Because if he doesn't, even if he gets by the jab or the counter right, if he doesn't time it perfect, Klitschko will tie him up with his octopus arms. Some ringside prognosticators have nicknamed Klitschko octopus arms. He doesn't want to fight on the inside. He's horrible at it. The one punch he can throw sometimes on the inside is just that uppercut. Now let's go to the punch stat numbers here before we start round number 7. And again, not a tremendously active round for Klitschko. He did land 14 punches. Again, punch of choice, the jab and the right cross. And when he had Johnson hurt, he did throw a lot of punches, but he missed a lot at the end. Johnson did a beautiful job last minute to 45 seconds of dodging, dipping, and blocking. A lot of Klitschko blows. And we're going to check out the stamina in a moment. Johnson landed 7 punches of own, basically in that little spurt he had on the inside where he let his hands go and he dug hard to the body. Let's go to check the traits here before we start round 7 and look at endurance. It's still fairly even. Klitschko might have a slight edge on endurance. All right. Here's round number 7. It's been a very fun fight to call here in Germany. Round 7, both fighters off their stool, and Klitschko again works behind the jab, but Johnson gets his punching range and lands two quick jabs. Right hand's blocked by Klitschko. But that one's not a 1-2. Johnson seems to be taking a little something off his punches, just looking to score. A 1-2-3 by Johnson. He's just letting his hands go and move away. He's baiting Klitschko in, and Klitschko is falling into the trap. Johnson again slides away. Oh, the left hook missed. Oh, Johnson just missed. He stepped away, then came right back with the left hook and just missed Klitschko. But he missed that counter right. Klitschko walked into it, and he's momentarily dazed, and Johnson comes back with a 1-2. Klitschko is not throwing punches. He ties up. He's still a bit dazed. Johnson needs to take advantage here. Johnson digs hard to the body, up to the head with a left hook, and again the same combination, and there's the bell. What a huge comeback round for Jack Johnson. He just took a little mustard off his punches to be a little more quicker, and he was ripping shots off Klitschko's head and body for 3 minutes in that round number 7. A huge comeback round for Jack Johnson. he got into a beautiful rhythm. And that's what he has to do, stay in that rhythm. He baited Klitschko in. Klitschko threw a 1-2, missing Johnson. He parried away the right hand, but then Johnson stepped back a bit. And Klitschko in his head, maybe he thought he had him. Maybe he thought he tagged him. He did not. And Johnson nailed him with the beautiful counters, as I say. "Come on forward," said the Spider to the Fly. And the Fly continually came forward. And once Johnson heard him, he just continued to pop in and out. Able to get his punching distance. And then get on the inside. And then get away. Great boxing job of ring generalship. And the brilliance of Jack Johnson in that round is he took something off his punches. He just wanted to score points. I'm not saying he threw soft punches, but he just took a little something off. And then he still was able to hurt Wladimir Klitschko. Let's go to the scorecard. 10-9 Johnson. And Tom Trunzo has 10-9 for Johnson. And Johnson's pulled to within 1 point. So after 7, he has Klitschko up by 1 point. I have Klitschko up by 2 points. This has been unbelievable. Johnson, really, there's been a couple of rounds where he's really taken a beating towards the end of the round, not even scoring any blows, and he's come back twice now. Again, the fortitude, the toughness of Jack Johnson is unquestionable. And this could be very discouraging for Wladimir Klitschko. Again, the Klitschkos don't like to fight on the inside. They have... Sometimes Klitschko will have trouble with stamina and can be discouraged. And we go to the Klitschko corner, and Emmanuel Stewart is trying to pump up Klitschko's confidence. This is unbelievable here. Unbelievable. As that swelling is up to 35% as Klitschko absorbed a lot of punishment in that round. Again, Johnson just took something off, a little mustard off the punches, and just was scoring. And the swelling around the right eye is up to 35%. Again, Ace Murata doing a yeoman's job trying to bring that swelling down with the end swell. Murata, one of the best cut men in the business. Emmanuel Stewart telling him, work off the jab, stay on the outside. And you can see some discouragement in Klitschko's eyes. That confidence might be waning. Let's go to a much more confident Ray Arcel in the Jack Johnson corner. No nicks, cuts, abrasions, or bruises out of the ordinary to report from the Jack Johnson corner. Just the regular wear and tear of a pugilistic contest. Some end swell work, though, by Percy Richardson around both eyes. And Ray Arcel just says, continue what you're doing, and hopefully, in Ray Arcel's mind, he'll be able to. We've seen it's been very difficult for Jack Johnson to maintain, as Klitschko uses his height and reach advantage very well. Quickly go to the punch stat numbers. Joining us is Ray Scully. How are you, Ray? Hope all is well. ID Jester's back at ringside. He went out to go grab a burger and fries. And you can see Klitschko landed nothing in that round of a legitimate scoring blow. Johnson absolutely dominated that round, working beautifully off the jab. He landed 45 punches. It's going to be interesting to see if Klitschko's confidence is shot now, and it has happened to him before. Endurance starting to go down there for Klitschko. This is a big moment. Can Jack Johnson put 2 rounds together? He has not been able to. In a very close fight here. The fans here in Germany are on their feet. And here's the bell for round number 8. We're reaching the halfway point. Scheduled for 15 in this heavyweight tournament. And Johnson seems like he wants to stay on the outside and take a breather. And he's tagged by a 1, 2, 3, 4 by Klitschko. The last one being a footing right hand. And there's a left-handed combination that hurts Johnson. So Johnson wanted to take the round off and catch a breather, and he's catching a pummeling. Counter right hand missing, and Klitschko comes back with a 1-2. Johnson tries to come on the inside. He's hit with the uppercut, and again the right hand from range nails Johnson. Johnson holding up better to those blows. Now he ties up. Klitschko ties up. They break once again. Klitschko doesn't want Johnson on the inside. Again, Johnson gets on the inside, and Octopus Arms grabs him. We're under a minute. And O'Connor's telling Johnson to keep his punches up as Johnson strays a couple of low blows there, trying to take a little more out of Klitschko. Johnson is known for dirty tactics. And again, Klitschko ties him up and yanks Johnson's head down. And there's the bell. I'm going to tell you something right now. Those 2 low blows did slow down Wladimir Klitschko. He didn't punch the last minute 15 of round 8. So it might have been worth it to get the warning. Klitschko definitely won the round, definitely hurt Johnson. So Johnson, once again, could not put 2 rounds together. But those 2 low blows, Klitschko didn't punch in the last minute 15. Let's go to the scorecard. Definitely a 10-9 round for Klitschko. And Tom Trunzo agrees with me, the unofficial scorer for Title Bout Championship Boxing. He now has Klitschko up by 2 points, 77-75 after 8 rounds. I have Klitschko up by 3 points. And I believe ID Gesture has Klitschko up by somewhat 3 points also. I don't think the chat's frozen, my friend. It seems to be working fine. As Ray Scully asks, he's having problems with the chat, but ID Gesture confirms it's working fine. So I don't know whose end that's on. But thank you for joining us, Ray. Ray Sully, I think I called him Scully. There was a boxer out of Connecticut called Scully. John Scully, I actually met him. Nice guy. He's a trainer also. All right. Let's go to the Klitschko corner. And let's check out that swelling. 26% now. So that's brought down because it was in the 30s. So good job by Ace Murata bringing the swelling down. Emmanuel Stewart. And it has hampered Klitschko. And Emmanuel Stewart is talking to O'Connor. He's saying, watch out for those low blows. And that was a pretty good tactic by Jack Johnson. A dirty tactic, an illegal tactic. But Klitschko didn't punch after that. Let's go to the Jack Johnson corner. And Ray Arcel. And they're just telling... So Johnson, again, wanted to take the round off and catch a breather. Instead, he caught a beating for 2 minutes. Approximately 2 minutes. And then he tagged Klitschko low with 2 blows. And that stopped that onslaught. Richardson gives him a sip of water. Johnson has a wry smile on his face like he thinks the tide of battle is going to turn here. Let's go to the punch stat numbers before we begin round number 9. And Klitschko landed 26 punches. And that all came before that final minute 15. You can see Johnson really didn't land much of anything. But he landed those 2 low blows that took a lot out of Klitschko. And let's just go to stamina now. And Klitschko's endurance still seems okay. Johnson's a little more waning, but still enough there. A very interesting round number 9 coming up in a close fight. Here's the bell for round 9. And again, Klitschko wants to stay at distance, work behind the jab. And Johnson's going right at him. Landing 2 right hands. Another left hook. A right cross. Johnson going for broke here. As he's sensing Klitschko starting to fade. Klitschko ties him up, pushes him away. And Klitschko lands a 1-2, but not a lot of mustard on it. Left hook lands and scores. Johnson taking those blows much better now, but he's got to be careful. And Johnson lands a hellacious combination. That swelling's hitting a lot worse around the Klitschko eye. Klitschko counters with a 1-2 right cross. Being the big scoring blow there, they tie up on the inside. A minute to go, back and forth round. Big left hook missed by Jack Johnson. Under a minute to go. Johnson looking to load up with the right hand. They parry the blows away. Klitschko pushes away. Klitschko lands an uppercut. And now a funny left hook by Klitschko is landed as Johnson tried to leap in, and there's the bell. Klitschko steals the round with the last 35-second rally, pretty much the last 25-second rally, as he really did hurt Johnson with that big left hook just seconds before the bell. And again, Johnson goes wobbling back to his corner. So it seemed like Klitschko, by a minute and a half into that round, recovered from those two low blows in the prior round. The fans are on their feet. And let's check out that swelling, because Johnson landed some really good combinations and hurt Klitschko. But the swelling stays at 27%. So Ace Murata doing a wonderful job of keeping that swelling around that right eye manageable for Wladimir Klitschko. Emmanuel Stewart once again stressing, do not let him get in punching range. Work off the jab. And Johnson came all out to do tremendous damage. He was looking for the knockout. He was a shark that smelled blood in the water. Did Klitschko do enough with that big left hook to deter him? We shall see as we get prepared for round number 10. Let's quickly go to the Jack Johnson corner. Johnson had probably 2 minutes of really good work. And again, Klitschko turned the tide in the last minute. Really the last 25, 30 seconds. And I believe he won the round. Let's go to the unofficial scorecard. And Tom Trunzo agrees with me. 10-9 Klitschko. He has Klitschko up by 3 points. I have Klitschko up by 4 points. Very close fight, though. If you give a couple of close rounds the other way, it could be even. Klitschko does have the knockdown, and there are those 2 rounds where Johnson was utterly dominated. Johnson needs to put some rounds together here. He has not been able to do that. Klitschko has been able to put some rounds together. Not many, but more than Johnson. Let's go to the punch stat numbers before we start round number 10, as we're getting to the final third of the fight. As Team Batman Boxing is in the chat. How are you, my friend, from across the pond? He is reporting for the English pugilist. Good friend of the channel from the beginning, Team Batman Boxing. He says, love these videos. Great job. How you been, buddy? Long time no chat. Always great to see him. I think he was one of my first subscribers. Team Batman Boxing. Hope all is well with you, your family, and friends. Alright, punch stat numbers. Klitschko landed 32, as he really did open up in that last minute. And really, again, the last 35, 40 seconds, Johnson was doing pretty nicely. Johnson only landed 16 punches. He was in a pretty good rhythm. But then Klitschko got him out of that rhythm. So, that being said, fighters are off their stool. We're preparing for round number 10 here, as it's starting to slip away from Jack Johnson, I believe. Here's the bell for round 10. Again, Klitschko's on the outside, working behind the jab, and Johnson coming in. He wants to try to really do some damage. Klitschko ties him up, pushes him away. He throws a 1-2 and misses. Johnson's able to parry away those blows. Again, Klitschko working behind the jab. Johnson gets on the inside. Octopus arms, ties him up. The referee breaks him. Nothing has been landed. A 1-2 by Klitschko's miss. And there's a counter! Left and the left hook to the body. Oh my! Johnson came in and got tagged with a counter left. And now a 1-2 by Klitschko. And down goes Johnson from the uppercut. Second time he's been down. O'Connor picks up the count from the timekeeper. It's at 5. Johnson trying to get to his feet. It's at 8. 9. He's not going to beat the count. The uppercut knocks out Jack Johnson in round 10. What a tremendous effort by Wladimir Klitschko. He has knocked out Jack Johnson in round number 10, as Johnson was going for broke, trying to get the momentum back. Oh my Lord! As the doctor comes in the ring, and so does Ray Arcellin and Percy Richardson. as Johnson is still laid out on the canvas, and not one of the better punches, as Klitschko is more known for the right cross, but the cross nailed him, the left hook nailed him. Johnson was hurt and was trying to come in on the inside, and as he was coming up to try to throw his punches, he walked into one of the most hellacious uppercuts, and down he went for the 10 count, and I am in shock as ID Gesture puts a simple 3-word phrase, he types, and it's over. Team Batman Boxing says, what a finish. What a finish. Unexpected. I thought this was going to be a good fight. It was. Klitschko was more dominant than I thought, but again, it's the size factor. The Klitschko brothers, and we'll just talk about Wladimir for now, but the brothers in general, two very good fighters. They're going to be Hall of Famers, obviously. And it's just their pure size and their skill. They could be robotic at times. They never wanted to fight on the inside. Both of them were octopus arms. But it's that big size that they had. A Rocky Marciano, a Joe Louis, a Joe Frazier, even a Mike Tyson would have a... And I love those. You know I'm a huge Marciano and Joe Louis fan. These were the fighters that, in my mind, would give Marciano and Louis a lot of trouble. Not saying they couldn't win. I mean, the size discrepancy would be tremendous for Marciano. It'd be very tough. But if he hits you, you never know. And Louis, a little bigger. But still, again, it's the size of the Klitschko brothers. The pure size. And they did have good punching power. They probably could knock out more fighters than they did. They were cautioned first always. Wisely so, because they did not have the best of chins, and their stamina did have some issues, and they could be discouraged. But this is an unbelievable result. Wladimir Klitschko, the winner, 10th round knockout of Jack Johnson. Johnson was the favorite of the writing scribes around ringside. The fans here in Germany obviously favored Wladimir Klitschko, one of his adopted countries. He is Ukrainian, but he lives in, they fight a lot out of Germany when they were fighting, and they stayed in Germany a lot. Unbelievable. So Terry O'Connor reaches the 10 count with 54 seconds left in the 10th round, and let's move on. And let's go to show it. Michael Buffer with the official announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2:11 of the 10th round. The winner by knockout, Wladimir Klitschko. And the crowd goes insane here in Germany. That is a shocking result. I actually thought Jack Johnson would win this bout by decision. But the thing that we saw early on in this bout, and let's go to continue, and I'm going to give a little synopsis of what... Once I saw twice Jack Johnson didn't score any scoring blows. It was incredible to me that Klitschko was able, with his size... The Klitschko brothers are the dark horses in this tournament. Even though they're highly ranked in title about boxing and in boxing history, they're the dark horses. Because Jack Johnson just got knocked out. I didn't expect that. I thought Johnson would win a close decision. It was starting to trend that way. But Johnson was never able to put 2 rounds together. Klitschko, anytime. Johnson did that little clever thing. Klitschko was dominating him in that round, a couple of rounds back. And then Johnson, with about 1:15 to go, nailed Klitschko low with 2 low blows. He was worn, but it slowed down the big man. I thought maybe, just maybe, this turns the tide about a battle for Jack Johnson. He had a decent next round, and then Klitschko took him out. Wladimir just way too big, and that's what Vladimir's going to have. He's going to be too big. Even if he fights a Rocky Marciano, he's obviously going to be much bigger. Joe Louis, Frazier's out of the tournament. This is going to be interesting, folks. This is a shocking result to me. I did not think this was going to happen. I had Johnson a slight favorite. Bleacher Bums Gaming has joined us from ringside, reporting from the Arizona Times, coming back from a wonderful vacation in Hawaii with Mrs. Bleacher Bums Gaming. Happy 50th birthday to her. And Bleacher Bums Gaming says, what? Vlad took out the Galveston Giant? Yes, he did. He was able to use his size beautifully, Anthony. And the second knockdown, Little Arthur didn't get up. The Giant stayed down. And it's a shocking result to me as Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming. Check out that wonderful channel. He has baseball on there. He has auto racing. He has boxing. He's got a good fight coming up with Jack Dempsey and two-ton Tony Galento, with Galento playing the Louis Firpo role, maybe. Can he knock Dempsey out of the ring? That's going to be a really fun fight as he develops his own boxing game, Glory Days Boxing, excuse me. So thank you for joining us, Anthony. Greatly appreciate it. Bleacher Bums Gaming says, who was winning when I came in? Klitschko had a lead and was starting to pull away. And again, there was that cute trick that Johnson did. I want to say it was a 7th. Klitschko started to dominate him in that round, and Johnson threw 2 low blows, about 1:15 to go in the round, and that stopped Klitschko from throwing punches the rest of the round. All right, so let's go. Klitschko's record with the simulation will improve now. Now let's just update the records. To 65 wins, 5 defeats, no draws, 54 knockouts. And the Galveston Giant, a.k.a. Little Arthur also, and Jack Johnson, in a shocker to me. I, in my mind, thought Johnson was going to win this fight, even though it was in Germany. I thought he would win a close decision or possibly even discourage Klitschko enough to stop him. How wrong was I? Johnson's record, it now falls to 56 wins, 12 defeats, 8 draws, 35 knockouts. And let's go to the official scorecard. Doesn't matter. Klitschko knocked him out. And of all the punches to knock him out with, an uppercut. Well, that was very surprising. I mean, he had hurt him with the right hand, hurt him with the left hook. Johnson was still not fully incapacitated, obviously. He was fighting, trying to fight back, trying to get on the inside. He was dipping a bit, starting to come up, and my God, it was the perfect storm. The uppercut hit Jack Johnson's chin, and down went the Galveston Giant for the 10 count. So let's go to the official scores. It's going to be interesting. Let's take a look at the scorecards and how did they have it. Mickey Van from England, he had it 1 point for Klitschko, 86-85. Larry Hazard of the US of A had Klitschko up by 4, more in line to what I had and the unofficial score Trunzo had. And actually ID Gesture, I think, had it about that same way too, 87-83. And then Dung Ung Park of South Korea had Klitschko up by 6 points. That's a little excessive, but doesn't matter. Klitschko knocked out Jack Johnson, and that has to be that is a surprise to me. I have to agree with Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming. That was definitely a surprise to me. So let's go to the punches. And again, it's not like Jack Johnson was not a good defensive fighter. Klitschko landed percentage-wise less than Jack Johnson. Klitschko was just, again, what was one of the factors I said? The big factor that Klitschko had in his favor, the punching power. And it turned out that's what gave him the victory. That thudding. He landed 64 right crosses onto Jack Johnson's head. You're not going to stand up to that. Johnson could never get in that nice punching rhythm. Unbelievable. Total punches landed in the fight. Klitschko landed 202, Johnson 162. And the majority of the difference there were those 2 rounds where Johnson didn't land anything. And there was a round where Klitschko basically didn't land anything a couple of times. So in a way, Johnson's defense kept him into this fight, into the 10th. And I thought he was going to be able to turn the tide of battle, but he never was. He was knocked out in the 10th. Unbelievable. Again, Klitschko worked his jab overtime. He landed 73 of those. And then that right cross, and look, they don't even show it as an uppercut. They don't even register. But that was the punch that knocked him out. You can see the slight green there. They'll say 0, but it was a hybrid left hook uppercut, more of an uppercut to me, and down went Jack Johnson. Punches landed per round. Klitschko, again, when you add everything together and divide it out, approximately 20 punches. Again, there were rounds they didn't land anything, but there were rounds where each fighter landed a ton. It was a strange, competitive, close fight in that way. Johnson averaged 16 punches landed. He could never get over the size difference. That's going to be really intriguing in Klitschko's next bout. We don't know who Wladimir will fight next because it will be a blind draw. As Anthony asked the question, who does Klitschko get next? We don't know. It's a blind draw. The first round's a blind draw. The second round's a blind draw. And then we'll figure it out as we go. Wow, it's a shocker to me. It's a shocker. That was a good fight. We're going to have another fight coming up from Germany. What time is it? 10:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. I might come back with a Chris Sale baseball game because I'll go a little quicker, though I do love doing the fights. This is my favorite thing to do, the fights. I had a little trouble starting the stream. It kept saying I had a good stream going, but it wasn't saying I was online, so I apologize for that. I was going to get away from the pre-fight thing, but you know what? Not going to do it. I want to show you the boxers cards, explain a little bit so you can understand the way how the engine works a bit. So, anyhow, I want to say thank you very much to the ringside experts who joined me for the broadcast. And that's Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming. As he says, so you do it FA Cup style. I like it. Yes, absolutely. Thank you to Bleacher Bums Gaming. Check out his wonderful channel. Retro sports, baseball, boxing, and red, white, and blue auto racing. Ton of fun. He has a new one up. I listened to it. I finished it this morning. So that's a lot of fun. I like Mooch. That's my favorite driver, Mooch. I want him to get a top 10 finish. Check out ID Gesture. He's on YouTube and also Twitch. Lots of good stuff. Strategy games, sports games, RPG games. ID Gesture says, hey, Al, should I buy Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 1 or 2 or both? I would buy both. They're two of my favorite games. They're fairly reasonable priced in the Steam sale. If you're just going to buy one ID, I would buy the second one. They tweaked it a bit where you have the range of motions 100% now. But I love them both. You can check out videos on my channel if you want. It's a wicked fun game. I mean, that is such a fun game. Just a pure sit-down shooter, old school, wonderful music. If you're going to stream it, don't play the music. You get a copyright hit. Just fun. Animation plays like a cartoon. It's a beautiful, fun game. As Bleacher Bums Gaming asks ID, how do you like the new Warhammer? So thank you to Bleacher Bums Gaming. Check out his channel. Check out ID Gesture's channel. Thank you to Team Batman Boxing. I haven't seen him in a while, but he was one of my original subscribers. As he says, what a finish. And we had a new person in the chat, but he had trouble, I guess, with the chat. He says it froze, but I didn't have trouble with it, nor did ID. But thank you to Ray Sully. He's from Massachusetts, it seems like, as I am. As he asks, are you from Massachusetts? Yes, I am. So thank you very much, gentlemen. And till next time, health and happiness. Take care. Bye-bye. God bless. And if you like, please hit the like button. Please share. We're trying to grow the channel as well as the community. The community includes ID Gesture, Bleacher Bums Gaming, Higher Ground Gaming, Tabletop Baseball Plus, Broke Black Man 94 for movie and TV reviews, Fill the Issues Guy, JD, What's Blazing in Sports, wonderful boxing channel. Just check out the featured channels on my page and the related ones. And likewise, their channels. It's a wonderful community to be part of, and we'd love to have you join it. So, and AU Pack Mule, another Johnny Indie Boots, so many fun channels in our community. So check them out. Thank you very much. Till next time, as I stated, watch out for the curveball in the dirt, the big left hook. Health and happiness, God bless, and as always, peace!